Hello, viewers. It's Sissy Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called The Boruto Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to be too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change to adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change to adult language. Now, if you're over 18, that means you're going to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this out the way, let's get into the latest episode of Boruto. So basically, this episode starts off when we see Kojin managed to get into the hidden leaf beds without setting off the sensors, and Delta was kind of shocked that Colton was able to enter through the top of the wall while setting off the hidden leaf chakra and network sensors. So basically, Colton said no, it's best for you to stay here, Delta, while I go find Kawaki. So anyway, Delta stayed behind while Kojin and one of his little toads while Kojin was looking around the village for Kawaki. So meanwhile, back at Naruto's house, we see Kawaki, sitting at the kitchen table, staring at his new boss that he bought to replace Hime's boss that he broke by accident, and also staring at the glue stick that Boruto gave him to fix Hime's boss. So while Boruto was playing a little handheld game. So anyway, Sarada and Nishi, stopped by at Naruto's house, and and there was didn't have no mission to do. They just wanted to say hey. So basically, once Sarada and Nishi came to the house, and Nishi just further out that we can hit the spot on Kawaki. So basically, that was their main purpose, to spot on Kawaki. So basically, Kawaki like, at least this guy's honest. So basically, Crockett was like, Crockett on my Misty, both honestly that, he can't hit the spy on me, so basically go ahead and spy on me. So anyway, Sawada asked Boruto how things been going with Kawaki. So ever since that day that Kawaki had that freak out at the flower shop and almost used his non-attack arm to almost hurt that kid yesterday. So basically, Boruto said everything's been going fine and whatnot. So anyway, Boruto's sister was there. Everybody was hanging out. Then Naruto showed up and was happy to see that we got visitors and whatnot. We got visitors and whatnot. So basically, last one Naruto saying hey Boruto, so basically Naruto was like, hey Boruto, let's do some training sparring. So basically, Boruto was so into playing his game, he was not fair up to it until his sister convinced him to do some training sparring with his dad. So anyway, they went to the Hidden Leaf training grounds, and that's when Naruto and Boruto started their little sparring match. So basically, Kawaki, Miki, and Hime was there watching the fight and whatnot. I believe Hime was there. The episode was not very clear. I believe the episode was pretty clear that Hime was there in that episode during the sparring night. So anyway, blah blah blah. So anyway, the sparring match between Boruto and Naruto began. So basically, Boruto used his Shadow Clone Jutsu against his dad. So basically, Crockett was shocked that that Boruto can use Shadow Clone Jutsu just like his dad. So basically, blah blah blah. So basically, it seems like Naruto, even with this, seems like Naruto had the upper hand though. So basically, taking out Boruto's Shadow Clone Jutsu, and Karaki suggests that maybe you should, maybe you should use your karma mark to again, maybe you should use a karma mark, use a karma mark in the sparring match. That way, and that way, at least you know how to use it. So basically, when Crockett activated his mark, Boruto's mark activated as well. So basically, it seems like every time that it's either one doesn't activate his karma mark, the other one karma mark activates as well. So basically, Boruto's karma mark activated, and when Boruto did a lightning jutsu, it came twice as powerful. So basically, before they started to fight, when Boruto's karma mark activated, for this, everybody thought this might be dangerous because we still don't know anything about these karma marks that Boruto and Karaki have. So basically, and Naruto's we don't know the best way to know is to see what type of power they got. So basically, Boruto and Naruto continued to fight in their training match, in the star match with Boruto's karma mark. So basically, like I said, when Boruto did a lightning jutsu, his lightning jutsu power increased it, double in power. So basically, Naruto was like, So the super type of power that the Naruto's that this karma had. So basically, Sarada and Nishi was worried that that Boruto's karma could lead into trouble. But in the end, Naruto ended up winning the star match against Boruto. They shook. So basically, Naruto and Boruto, shook hands. Gave the sign of a good match and whatnot. So basically, Weezy was kind of shocked that even though Boruto lost, they shook hands in unity to similar a good match and whatnot. So basically, he was shocked. He'd never seen something like this before. So anyway. So basically, Sarada, when Michi and Sarada were heading home, Michi was worried that about the karma mark that Boruto and Karaki had, because he still believes that these marks are that Karaki still knows about is holding out on some information about these karma marks that we don't know about that could end up hurting Boruto. But Sarada was kind of agreeing with Miki, but at the same time, she was kind of impressed at the power that at the Martin Christian Boruto Jutsu. She decided to go home and go talk to her father to learn a new jutsu of her own. So anyway, as she left Miki, and once Sarada left Michi's like, I still don't trust these karma rocks. These karma rocks could lead to something dangerous. So anyway, when Sarada so when Sawada got home, they had so basically Sawada got home, blah blah blah. So anyway, after the match, after Naruto, and his sister and Karaki went home, that's when Karaki started to have a flashback about his day training with Jigen and trying to master his karma mark. So basically, Jigen treated him like shit, never giving Karaki a break and just beating the shit out of him after he begged to give up during their sparring matches. So anyway, Clarky went to go talk to Naruto about the spar match that when you defeated Naruto, you did continue on beating the crap out of him. Why didn't you? So basically, and Naruto was like, oh, I won the match, so there was no need to, cause of Karaki's past experience with Jigen and whatnot. So anyway. So basically, Naruto is giving Karaki a heart-to-heart talk about why Naruto and Shirada and the others want to use the talents to be ninjas and whatnot. Telling them the true meaning of being a ninja and whatnot. So anyway, while Naruto was telling Karaki the true meaning of being a ninja to Karaki, Boruto was there at the glue stick that on the table that he gave Karaki to use to fix his sister's boss, and it was still there on the table, and he still had not used it to fix his sister's boss. So basically, Boruto went to go find Karaki, and he heard his father talking to Karaki about the true meaning of being a ninja, and he decided not to argue with Karaki over fixing his sister's boss after his father gave him a heartfelt speech about being a true ninja and about using your gift to help the world and help people in need and shit like that. So anyway, meanwhile back at Shirada's apartment, we see Sasuke was home, so basically they were all eating out to dinner. So basically Shirada asked her father to teach her today. So basically, yes, it's about fucking time. So anyways. So basically, Shirada asked her father to teach her Chidori. So basically, Sasuke is like, you want to use this against your rival. So basically, figured that, so basically, Sakura gave the okay to Sasuke. Looked at Sakura when Shirada asked her to teach her Chidori. Sakura gave the okay to let Sasuke teach Shirada Chidori. So basically Sasuke said, "All right, we'll stop. We'll stop. I'll teach you how to do Chidori." So anyway, the next day, Weavey went outside and got the broken boss. He made broken boss and took it inside and started to use the glue stick to fix it up. But unknown to him, Kojin told spotted him at Naruto's house, and Kojin was looking for, using some type of jutsu to see through his toad's eyes, and spotted Karaki at Naruto's house. So basically, so there you are. He's hiding somewhere on top of some belfry, I believe, where he's hiding somewhere on top of a building, on top of the building, looking at Karaki through his toad eyes, and and he's like, oh, there you are, Karaki, there you are, Karaki, and this how the episode ended with with Koji looking through his toad eyes at Karaki, taking the broken bars of Hime's and went back inside and used the glue stick to try to fix the broken bars with the glue stick that Boruto gave him, and that's how the episode ended. So anyway, it's about fucking time that it's about fucking time that Shirada finally learned Chidori. So basically, this was a good episode. Once again, we got another flashback episode of how G treated Clark very poorly and like shit and whatnot. So anyway, this was a very good episode. But besides that, this was a very good episode of Boruto. Sorry, just sit here, Michael, for the reviews. Sign off. We're saying, what do you guys think about this episode? Was it good, was it bad, or was it just okay? Please let me know in the comments below this podcast. So anyway, this is Michael for the reviews. Sign off. 1.